This is the 7 layers of the psychological pyramid. Have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? He's kind of more around the external forces, what makes a productive worker. Whereas the psychological pyramid is more about the internal functions, be it either in a conscious realm or in an unconscious realm. So at our base is the environment. I'm going to use an extreme example of a drug addict, just because it makes it a little bit more clear. If you use more subtle, it makes it a little more muddied. So if you're in environment level, you can take a drug addict from a drug house, put him in a clean house, and if he still believes he's a drug addict, he's going to go find drugs somewhere because they're available. So environment is sometimes good to change as a starter. It can motivate somebody to change a higher layer, but in and of itself is not usually strong enough to change somebody's core self. So as we move up the pyramid, it becomes more impactful for the overall change that is desired. Behaviors are what we're actually being able to see from an external point of view. These are eating a donut, or in the case of the drug example, somebody taking drugs. These are the things that are visible from the outside perspective. Capabilities and skills are your next layer. Capabilities or skill are something you can teach, something you can learn. They are your ability to perform some kind of task or function. So I can teach somebody how to resist, let's say, a drug, but you can't, if they still believe they're a drug addict, they're going to still find drugs. So it's still not quite high enough yet to really overcome some of the more difficult problems. Now, it could be enough to overcome it if that is where the problem is lying. So let's say the top part of the pyramid is fine, but the bottom part's what's suffering. So let's say somebody has strong willpower, for example, but they don't have the skill to resist the jelly donut that somebody put at work. Hey, Lori. Wave. So the skills and capabilities are really great for when the person's lacking the skill to overcome said problem, but it's still low enough to where it's not going to usually be game changing unless you spend the time to change the higher levels. So the next 4 layers of the pyramid are mostly subconscious, but what we can do is we can talk to the subconscious through hypnosis and other tools, and then ultimately change them for something more useful. So the next layer is values. These are going to be very similar to beliefs. We usually kind of just lump them together for easy conversation. It's the rules and the way our ideals of the world, how it all fits and works together. So for example, if a drug addict believes one's a drug addict, always a drug addict, that's a belief or a value around how it works. So like cancer, if somebody has cancer, then they might have a belief, oh, well, I'm just going to die anyway. Because it's kind of drilled into us that cancer is a death sentence, where it doesn't have to be. So values are kind of the effects, and then the beliefs are the rule set. The next layer up is identity. This is what you believe about yourself. Identity could be, for the example of the drug addict, you could be the I believe statement. So they might believe they are a drug addict, and therefore no matter what you change lower in the pyramid, nothing ever changes because that is their belief structure, and the subconscious is going to do everything in its power to fulfill that, because the subconscious never wants to be wrong, and it wants concurrent or congruency. So whatever you believe internally is what happens externally as well. So if to get that change, you have to then modify the identity issue, which then everything else generally will fall in line afterwards. And then the next one up is the beyond identity. Some people refer to it as spirituality. It's the thing bigger than yourself. This could be your work. Some people find work to fulfill this. Some people have church. Some people have religion. Some people have spirituality, nature, or even like a volunteer organization, your community, your family. It's anything that you can belong to that has a bigger sense of purpose other than your individual self. And if you can change the higher in the pyramid, everything cascades down below it. So it's pretty powerful stuff. I'd love to dive into this stuff deeper. Send me a message, and I'd love to talk more offline. I'll probably do future videos talking about each one of these and how it truly affects and stuff like that. So see you guys next time.